I'm just Sir, and welcome to our fan experience. Join me today as I go in depth into the match that was. And before I begin today, I shall begin by addressing the previous matchup between Arsenal and West Ham United, where Arsenal played to a decisive 2-0 victory back in December. And shockingly, it was over half the season ago. And as we get into today, Arsenal has fared very well against West Ham in the past, and it as West Ham has as they've really gotten West Ham's number in the previous matchups against them. And particularly as we look at the starting 11 today, I would say that it looked like it could continue, as despite the fact that Ben White again was out with a hamstring injury. He would be once again replaced by Rob Holding, and Takahiro Tomiyasu would get back in the starting 11, which was really good to see after his brief appearance against Manchester United. Furthermore, Mohamed El-Neni will be rewarded with his excellent performance against United as well, with placing in the starting 11, and Eddie Nketiah would once again be up top. But as we get into today, the match seemed to start off fairly slow for both teams, as they seem to have other things on their mind, with West Ham United currently embittered in a important Europa League semi-final match, upcoming match against Eintracht Frankfurt, and the Gunners just having come out the high of two decisive wins over United and Chelsea. And as a result, the match really didn't get going until over halfway through first half, with Pablo Fornals delivering a decent chance past the Arsenal defense that just so happened to go off Granit Xhaka, but it really amounted to nothing. While again West Ham pressured and had a great chance from Vladimir Sukfal, but again nothing really materialized out of that. For while Arsenal didn't get out to the best of starts, their consistent play would pay off, as after a corner kick by Bukayo Saka, who else was there but Rob Holding, and who was able to outmuscle Manuel Lanzini and jump to the sky, as he was able to deliver and got in with a great header to give Arsenal a 1-0 lead. As the game came closer than the first half, West Ham seemed really eager to equalize, and they had a number of great chances from the likes of Declan Rice and Jared Bowen, and it was very nerve-wracking for the Gunners, and they had to keep their defensive structure, but it seemed to kind of deteriorate as evident with the end of the first half, where Jared Bowen was able to take a rebound and slot it home in the bottom left corner easily, my I add, to give West Ham a crucial tying goal. And as they lay, as West Ham lays somewhat far from the top four, the prospect of winning this game is ever important, as well with their appearance in the Europa League right now. They have the chance they actually have a greater chance of qualifying for the Champions League than Arsenal do at the moment, with the Gunners being pressured by Tottenham, who would just so happen to beat Leicester City earlier in the day. As we go into the end of the first half, there's really wasn't really a lot to talk about, other than the two important goals from opposing sides. And I was just hoping for a little more fluidity, really, and structure in both sides in both the offensive and defensive side of the field for Arsenal. And as we get into the second half now, it seemed like Arsenal struggled to get back into struggled to focus early on, as Tomiyasu was caught out of position, surprisingly, um, as Ben Rama reacted quicker than he thought. But he was fortunately saved in the situation by Rob Holding, who was at the right place at the right time to block the shot from Pablo Fornals. Meanwhile, it appeared that West Ham had kind of gotten the best of Arsenal, with Bukayo Saka putting in a poor challenge on Jared Bowen and resulting in him getting a yellow card. And Bowen really seemed to be Arsenal's kryptonite in this game, with him scoring the first goal and then getting taken down by Saka. He seemed to really flourish on his role. And as Aaron Ramsdale came out of his box to try to get the ball, he put in what looked to be a malicious slide tackle on Bowen, which he reacted subsequently reacted as if he got fouled. But on a further look, he actually took the brunt of it and kind of sold the situation, and therefore he was given a yellow card. And it really seemed to kind of demoralize the Hammers, as offered another corner a couple minutes later, which Bukayo Saka once again took. And the ball kind of ping-balled in the box, with Gary Marinelli putting in a miraculous over-the-top ball into the far post for the other Gabriel to put his hand on it beautifully, straight at the keeper, Fabianski, but unfortunately it hit his leg and helped it over the line to give Arsenal 2-1 lead. And they would look at it for a potential foul on Rob Holding on Soufal, but fortunately everything was okay, and the goal stood. And after that, Arsenal really seemed to play very defensively, which was good to see, as they were kind of vulnerable all game, not having not having their ideal starting defenders. Obviously, no Tierney, no Ben White, but they made it do. And even with West Ham making a last-second change to put on Michael Antonio, really didn't seem to help them, aside from one great leaping volley from Fornals, but which just went. Ramsdale didn't really have to worry about that much. And despite the fact that he was relatively quiet for this match, Eddie Nketiah would have a very good chance late in the match, able to, using his excellent speed, to steal the ball from the cat abuser Kurt Zuma, and putting in a great shot that Fabianski was able to tip away and keep it in for the Hammers. And aside from a last second substitution for Martin Odegaard off for Albertsson Lokonga, that would remain it for the match, as Arsenal comes out of the London Stadium against the Hammers, West Ham United, with a 2-1 victory. My final thoughts are that it was a very nerve-wracking game, as West Ham have a tendency to play very defensively, and compared to the previous two matches, there wasn't really a lot to take away from this game, as West Ham really dictated what was going to happen in this game, and I'm glad Arsenal was able to get a critical 3 points and a good result. But I just wish they could have. They didn't have to rely on their center backs to get the two important goals, rather than their attackers, who are supposed to do that in this situation, especially against a West Ham team that to revert to playing Aaron Cresswell, a left back for the most part, usually at center back. But I digress, and I'll take it as it is. And overall, my man of the match today goes to Rob Holding. And as critical as I've been of him this season, he really delivered today, as with the all-important first goal, not to mention his very quality play back on defense. He was able to hold down the fort, and he did an admirable job in replacing Ben White. And at which point I'd like to see him maybe play a little more, play out the rest of the season and see how it goes. As he still has, as he needs, if he wants to stay with Arsenal, or if he wants to earn his place at Arsenal, he needs to get more game time and he needs to prove himself as center back position at Arsenal is getting kind of competitive with Ben White, obviously having the certified his status as a starting center back, and next year with William Saliba potentially coming in, it'll make things even harder for him. And I think that this is his time to shine if he wants to keep his job at Arsenal. As well as we look at the table now with Arsenal in fourth place, they were granted a some very good fortune with Chelsea losing to Everton of all teams, and only putting them 3 points ahead of Arsenal after beating Manchester United earlier last week. With Tottenham also coming on their heels, it'll be a very interesting last 4 games of the season as Arsenal obviously take on Leeds United next week, and then they play North London Derby, and then they followed up the penultimate match of Newcastle United, and then the finale being against Everton, which will be very interesting to see. But anyway, leave a like, subscribe if you enjoy my reaction, and join me next time on the Arsenal Fan Experience. Arsenal takes on Leeds United. Arrivederci.